Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are finally going to make these little fridge frames, and I promised these at the beginning of the year, and then I got sidetracked, as most crafters do, because you get excited and go down little avenues and start crafting on other things, but I've always had these on my list to bring to my channel, and I'm excited to show you how I'm going to create these. So we recently had to get a new fridge because our other fridge just randomly died, and it was a nice fridge too, so I'm not sure what happened with it, but our old fridge did not have a magnetic front. So I'm super excited because our new fridge actually has a magnetic front where I can put little magnets on the front. Now, I'm actually one of those people that does not put a lot of stuff on my fridge. It's one of those things that just makes me anxious, but I like having little intentional frames for my fridge because it makes it really pretty, it makes it really decorative, and it's a nice way to decorate the front of a really fun little space. So I'm going to be using these cute little 2x3 frames. I found these at Michael's, and they come in, I think, a 4-pack, but I'll try to remember. Oh, no, it says 4-pack right on there. So they come in a 4-pack. They have a little back. So if you wanted to use them as a traditional frame, then they have the little easel on the back, but we are going to completely convert these to being little fridge frames, and they're so easy to do. So I'm going to convert those. They are the perfect size for little wallet size pictures. So if you have little wallet size pictures, that's the perfect little size to put inside these. I like to print my pictures at MPix, and I'll try to link them in the description box below. They are my favorite company, current favorite for printing pictures. I've used them for a very long time, and that's where I do all of our family photos. And then also I am going to use this little roll of adhesive vinyl. So this is a nice gray color. Of course, you can use any color that you'd wish. So we're going to convert these. We're going to get some magnetic strips on the back so that they are nice and ready for the front of the fridge. Now, there are other adhesive methods that you can use if, for instance, your fridge is not magnetic, because a lot of fridges now are not magnetic, especially the stainless steel. Luckily, my new stainless steel is magnetic, so I'm excited about that. But you can choose how else you want to attach these if for some reason the base that you're applying them to is not magnetic. All right, let's go ahead and hop into Design Space. We're going to get this project started, and I can't wait to show you how they turn out. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to come over to the text box so I can create my own custom text. I am going to use the font Falling Leaves Print, and I purchased this in a farmhouse bundle from Design Bundles. I'll link it in the description box below in case you love this font. It comes with a lot of fonts, and I use them quite frequently on my channel because they're so pretty. So if you want to buy that, then you can play with these fonts as well. So the first thing I'm going to type in is grateful. So that will be my first one. And then I will go to text one more time, and I will say thankful. And then for my third, again going to text, I will say blessed. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want them to all be consistent, and I want them to all be sized the exact same size. So when I size them from going forward here, I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to size them at the same time. So now I just need to take my measuring tape and measure the space that I have available to work with on my little frame. So I have just about 2 inches to work with, a little bit less, so I will just size all 3 down. Once again, I'm doing them all together. So I'll do about 1.8. So let me make this screen bigger. And that puts them at about 1.8 by almost 1/3 of an inch for each one. Okay, so now they are all sized at the same time, which makes them consistently sized. And I am going to actually use my Cricut Joy. You can use any cutting machine for this. I'm going to select that cutting machine and say Make It. On the next screen, it will ask me how I want to load my material. I will find some smaller scraps, or I will use the big roll I have. I probably have some scraps, so I will just say on a mat and then say done. Then it will show how it's placing all of my little pieces. I'm going just to drag those apart just a little bit, just so I have a little bit of grace in between to cut with my scissors. And then I can say continue. I will use the premium vinyl setting, load my material on the mat, and get this all cut out. Okay, so I was able to find a little piece of scrap vinyl, so I will just place that right on my mat here, load it into my machine, and get this all cut out. While that is cutting out, what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to place it right on this little cotton circle here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to prep the little area where I want to place the vinyl. So I'm just going to rub that little area to make sure it's nice and clean to help the vinyl stick down really well. And we'll let those just dry while we're cutting and getting our vinyl nice and ready. Okay, so that is all done. I will unload my mat. That cut out really, really nicely. So I will remove my vinyl from the mat. Then I will trim off any extra vinyl that I have so that I can save the rest in my little scrap bin, just like where it came from. So look how much vinyl I used. Always save your scraps. Oh my goodness. This is a whole project done on very little vinyl. Okay, so when weeding smaller letters, I like to go ahead and take my scraper and just scrape down the top. And then I like to turn it all the way over and then really scrape into the back. And this just makes sure everything is really where it needs to be before I weed. So that just really works for me. And then I'll take my weeding tool and begin weeding. And just going really, really slowly, using my weeding tool when necessary also just to press down on the letters if it feels like they are going to come up. Whoops, that little L wants to come up. Sometimes it is a stinker to do smaller letters, but you just have to be patient. Then you can always just reposition them with your weeding tool and get them right back on the liner. So because I lost that L, I'm going to trim off everything that I have weeded so far. That way this doesn't fall back onto my pieces and make a bigger mess. And then I'm just going to take this little L here and place it right back on my sheet before I lose it. Okay, there we go. Once again, I can use my weeding tool just to hold any pieces down that might want to come up. Go nice and slow. Slow and steady is the key here. And almost done. There we go. Okay, so not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so then I'm just going to go through and gently grab the middles of the little letters that needed weeded out. This project has been on my to-do list forever. I am so thankful that this is going to be completed, and then our nice new fridge will have something pretty on the front. Usually I don't put anything on my fridge except for maybe a little bit of artwork, but the girls have, I showed you in my in another tutorial that I made my girls little art boards that showcase where they can put their art that they create. So we already have a home for all of the little art. And if you missed that, I'll place a link to it because it's just a nice long board with little clothespins on them so that they can just put their art in there. They're actually kind of high up, so Mommy puts the art in there. But so we already have a home for the art, so that's not for the front of the fridge usually. But now I'll have these cute little picture frames. Okay, so then I am just going to grab a small little piece of transfer tape here to place over my letters. Hopefully that is big enough. Oh my goodness, just by hair. Just by hair. Okay, so a small piece of transfer tape, and I will do all at the same time, and then I will cut them apart in just a moment. Okay, just like that. Whew, just barely big enough. So not a lot of material for this project. Okay, scraping again on the front and back, just like I did before I weeded. And the back. Okay, now we are all ready. Let's move this little cutie out of the way, and we will trim these apart. Okay, so I have all of my little frames dry and prepped on the bottom. Okay. And then I will just go one at a time and get all of my little decals placed on the frames. So let me know if you have a lot of things on the front of your fridge or if you like it a little bit more organized. I like to be like more decorative. I just have always been like that. We've never had anything on our fridge. And everybody said that that will change once you have kids, but I just designated a different home for all the artwork. I like the fridge to be pretty blank. Okay, so I'm just going to center that the best I can visually. Just like that. So cute. Okay, and then bringing my scraper back in, I'm going to just very gently press down. Love that. Okay, I love that this is going to be so decorative, and then it's a little place to have the little kiddos' pictures. I'm making 3, of course, because we have, whoops, that doesn't want to lay down. We have our 3rd on the way, so that little frame will be blank for just a little bit longer. I suppose I could put a copy of the little sonogram in the 3rd one. That would be so cute. Until we have an actual portrait. Okay, so taking my time here, the vinyl is being a little bit of a stinker laying down, and sometimes that happens, but if you just press into it as you're pulling, if that makes sense, so just kind of press down and then kind of pull, then it lays down and has an easier time. Okay, again, just kind of pressing it and encouraging it to stay put. Okay, there we go. So cute. So there is our first little one right there. I love how that looks, so simple but intentional. And then I'll do the other 2. And then we will convert these to being magnets. Centering it the best that I can. Of course, you can also go this way. I like to do this way just because usually the school pictures are in this direction. So that's the way I'm going to do mine. But feel free to do it in the other direction if you would like to. Okay, next one and our final one here. Okay, and there's our final little frame. They look so cute. Okay, so I love this. Now what I'm going to do is flip them over. And again, if you do not want to use these as fridge frames, then they have the little easel back. I'm not sure what this is called, but the little stand on the back so that you could just stand them up. In fact, I did make some of these for Christmas, and they made for really, really fun gifts, and I personalized them. So that was fun as well, but I'm going to use the same frame, and I'm going to now convert it to a fridge frame. So I'm just going to take this off. You can keep it if you'd like, or you can toss it. And then of course take away the little pamphlet thing on the inside. And then this is just a little plastic piece, but I like to keep that on just in case, just to protect the actual photo that's going to be in there. So I have that all ready to go. I'm just going to prep the other 2, and then we will place magnet strips on the back. Okay, so I am all ready to go. I'm just keeping those tabs up for a moment, just so that I can put pictures in there in a little bit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of magnetic magnet behind the frame. So I just have these magnetic adhesive sheets. They have adhesive on one side that you'll just peel off. You can also buy magnets in rolls. So you can buy sheets of magnets in like a little thin roll. But I had these from another project that I did, and I'm all about using what I have instead of trying to rebuy things just because they're a different size. So I can easily trim this down with scissors. I used this in a project where I was making, what did I make? Oh, magnetic bookmarks with my Cricut. Those were so fun and so cute. Speaking of another really good gift idea, those make a really good gift idea. So now what I can do is I can simply take some scissors, and I can just visually lay it here just to get an idea of how much I'm going to need. And I can just take some scissors and cut. So super, super easy. There we go. And then, of course, the back side is an adhesive. So it has a little strip on there that you peel off, just like this. Sometimes it's helpful to just grab it with a weeding tool. There we go. Okay. And you just peel that off. Then this is sticky, and then you can place it right on the back of your frame there, being careful not to go over the edge. There we go. And then I'm probably just going to do all 4 sides to make sure that it will hold the weight of the frame. They're not too heavy, but just to be sure. I'll probably, since this is a good size, I'll probably do all the tops and bottoms with this piece first so it has a consistent size. So I'll cut 1 for that. I will cut 2 for this. And this was just a little scrap piece I had left over, so I'm literally using all of my scraps to bring this project together. So these will all go like so. And then I'll get a little bit of a longer strip that I had from a scrap piece. Oh my gosh, how perfect is that? And I will do, I could not have planned that better if I had tried to plan that. Perfect. Actually, I don't think I really need that much. But anyway, I will cut this down for the other sides. Okay, so now that I have all of my little strips ready to go, I will just apply these to the backs of all the frames. And I'm not going to worry about making this beautiful. They're just the backs of the frames that will be on the fridge, so don't stress too much about making it super, super pretty. What I'll do probably though is just trim some of these pieces down so that they fit a little bit better. Very nice. Okay, so I'll just finish up applying all of these little strips and then I will be all done. Okay, so they are all done and ready to have pictures placed inside. I also just ran up really quickly to test them on the fridge to make sure that the amount of magnetic strips that I placed on the back was going to be sufficient, and it was. They actually stuck really, really nicely, so I went ahead and just tested that real quick just to make sure, and that all worked out. So I'm just going to put some little pictures in here and then enjoy having a little bit of intentional decor on the front of our fridge. I hope you enjoyed this. This was super, super easy and fun. Sometimes with those crafts that I put off and put off and put off, I end up getting embarrassed by how quick and easy they were. It took me longer to procrastinate on it than it did for me to actually finish. So again, lots of small scraps and lots of small little pieces of magnet strip used, and then the frames themselves are very inexpensive. So this would make a really fun gift or just a really fun idea for decorating up a little fun place in your home. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned at the end and I'll show you how they turned out on the fridge, and I will see you all in the next video.